the more we realize that I is not really existing, the more the joy of being is experienced, the simple joy of being. Because then life is free to unfold. Otherwise, when I am identified with the body mind and think and experience myself only as a limited being, separate, then I need to control it, to manage. I'm always on the alert mode. Sometimes it's going well, sometimes not. So it's cannot be stable. So this is uh, the only way to realize stability is to understand and realize that I uh, do not exist. And then what is left? Life playing. The show must go on. The show is going on, it's happening. So, and there is no weight. It becomes more and more light because there is no someone doing it. So it's just happening. So I realize that I am life itself. I am the origin of all. I am not just this form who is dependent on what is happening inside and outside. Because my inner well-being as an individual depends on the behavior of others and also circumstances. When people or circumstances are matching with my inner world or expectations, then I feel good. And if not, then I don't feel so good or not good at all. That's how the separation between pain and pleasure, good and bad, is experienced. So the shortcut would be or is self-surrender to life. Surrender our small self, the illusory I or self, surrender it to the higher self or the self or life, which is the same. So then I am not doing anything, I have nothing to do, nowhere to go inside as is what I am. This inner feeling is like that. So my shoulders are much more free than if I carry all the burden of the world, not only mine, but through looking at the TV program and news, I have to carry all these things which does not belong to me, and moreover, most of the time, all what is talked about, I have no power on most of the things I am hearing here and there outside or on the media. So it's probably more 99% useless because I can't do anything. And it's just keep me more in the outside world, more in my mind and thinking, rather than supporting me to bring me back to my true self, which is not disturbed by the event. So this is what we call sometimes being which is not in time and space. It's not a being separate being as you may understand like that, but we are talking now about a beingness which is not personal, which is our true essence. So when I realize that this I, me, is an illusion, because there is, if we look very closely, you can make a study case on yourself and search for I, me. There is not. It's just an identification, crystallization on a form which make others also exist and the world, which is the base of suffering. Yes, alternance of suffering and pleasure. So this self-surrender to life, let life free, She is doing, if we can call it she, we can call it Shakti energy, the supreme goddess also. In Kashmir Shivaism, they call it the supreme goddess. So if as an unmovable being that you are, or the absolute Shiva, or whatever name you may use, you are realizing that all this is your own Shakti energy play life. So there is nothing to control because you can't do anything as a non-doership. You can't do anything. So you're just enjoying the show, and the actor will do. And apparently will say, hi, hello, do you want to take a coffee with me, or this kind of things. So it's a play, it's an artifice, but inside with awareness that this I is an illusion, pure illusion, then it is free and light, and that's what we want. We want a life of joy, simplicity, the mind not, the mind like complications, artifice and pleasures, and higher pleasures in higher planes, lower planes, even the spiritual quest on higher planes is also ego trip. We want to enjoy some higher states. But the self has no preference for lower or higher states. The self is always the self, is always here and now, is unchangeable. So it's not depending on higher or lower state, and not on even on liberation or bondage, depending on nothing, totally independent, and that's what we are. So if we go for a halfway business, like to achieve some object in the physical world or on some higher planes or some higher realizations, there are still some object realized at some levels, but the self has no level. So instant surrender is always now. Instant surrender means even if I have still some tendencies, vasanas, disturbances, vasanas is mental disturbances or emotions stuck in our system, blockage, whatever. If I am able just to do this instant surrender, then there is no need even of self-realization, there is need of nothing. This is the simplest way to accept everything as it is, just to drop everything and enjoy. Yes, so, and realizing that the self is always free and realized, it has no need, so, and that's our nature. So the rest is a play on the screen of consciousness, the play of going back home, the play of need liberation from bondage. All this is a play. It's not real. So if we can hear that and take that, then that's immediate. That's now. So then, the more we drop our stuff and discover this illusion of I, then the lightness, the joy, the simple joy of being become more and more our own life. And the rest, all the achievement at the family level, family, business, success, money, all this becomes secondary, because this underlying current of the simple joy of being is realized as the real stuff. The rest are just projected objects, projections in the screen of consciousness, which are just a reflection of the original joy. That's why what is projected on the screen appear and disappear, appear and disappear. I have a girlfriend, then she disappears. I have money, then it disappears. Even body, it's coming and disappearing. So whatever comes, disappear. If I rely on that, then I will suffer, like Buddha said. So to discover that all this, what we perceive, are objects projected on the screen of consciousness, and to turn back attention from where the projector is coming from, and realize that's what I am, which is so simple, so much here that the mind can't grasp it, can't understand it, can't do anything with that. But the soul, or the Atma, the pure self that we are, can recognize itself. Only itself can recognize itself and just say, yes, that's what I am. So this simple yes, this simple nod, yes, it's enough. And the rest of the show will go on. Whatever the character has to experiment at any level, spiritual, physical, or others, it's happening in the plane of time and space, or maybe some more subtle plane, but it's still happening. Is the self as, or the totality of consciousness, is not a plane, is not an experience, is totality of consciousness, is a self. So it is through all experiences. It is the the light which, the radiance which is never dimmed, which is always in spite of light or darkness. So it's always like a Shruti, always this absolute presence or divine presence. And that which is never disturbed by anything is the highest divinity, or yes, any name you want to give, feel free, because it will be recognized in spite of any name. So that's all for today. I thank you very much and invite you to like or subscribe this video, subscribe to the channel if you feel like, and I will see you very soon. Thank you and namaste.